Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Tyler Perry's Sistas. So the episode started where it left off last time, where Andy was trying to figure out how, why, like all the questions that you would ask when you trying to figure out, wait a minute, I'm trying to avoid foolishness. Why is foolishness walking into the door? And foolishness is 100% Gary. Anyway, kind of found out this heifer was having a whole nightmare. This heifer was having a nightmare. She woke up and Robin was trying to explain to her that she overslept and not to worry about it because she was okay because he had already called Fatima and gave her a heads up and all this other stuff, and so she's covered. In her mind, she like, nah, I still gotta get to work. Fatima gonna think something going on and all of that. And it's like, girl, Fatima would know anyway. You gonna tell her anyway. So it's like, why are you trying to make it seem like, oh no, oh no, I don't want her to know. She's gonna figure it out. She's gonna find this out. Y'all are friends. Girl, who cares? So anyway, I mean, she told you to jump on that as soon as you saw him. And she was halfway ready to jump on it too. So, girl, bye. Anyway, so she had to, well, she felt the need to explain herself, talking about drunk Andy is a different Andy. And I get really aggressive when I'm drunk. And so he was like, oh, okay then. He talking about he likes sober Andy. And so she was like, excuse me. Almost all the time when you see me, that's who you see. And he was like, no, it's a particular person that I'm seeing in this moment. Because she's like, oh, well, the difference is I'm really, really shy when I'm not drunk. And however she was acting in this moment was how he likes her to be or whatever. He trying to make it seem like it's really cute. And I'm like, child, whatever. So anyway, while they're still in bed, he trying to see if he can still get another piece. And she like, no, but he was like, look, I would like for you to come with me to London to help present the settlement to the client. Because, they worked on that case together, despite him being the actual boss of the company. So she was just like, are you serious? And so he was like, yeah. He got a jet and everything. Like, he has money. Like, he has his own private jet. It's fueled up, ready to go and all that. And she was just like, no, I don't know about all that. And he was like, well, I don't, ask more than once unless it has something to do with you. And so she was like, yeah, okay. And so he asked one more time. And she was like, no, not this time. And so he was like, okay, but whatever. So anyway, Preston, y'all know last time they showed him popping up at Danny's house and El Fuego was there. So El Fuego politely got his clothes and stuff on and he looking like he watching a movie. All he was missing was a bucket of popcorn. Like, he was doing the most. So anyway, he ended up getting up out of there. And Danny and Preston started to talk, if you even want to call it that. This heifer that sat up here and told him that, she thought she would have been. Well, he was like, well, I thought you would have been happy to see me. This heifer was like, I mean, I haven't heard from you. You ain't responding to nothing that I'm saying to you. And he was like, I lost my phone. And she was like, oh, that's a new one. I'm like, girl, just because everybody that you've been dealing with is trash, that don't mean that Preston is trash. Like, he has been very, on top of it since he's met you. So I don't understand why you giving him all this grief. But, I mean, I do. But at the same time, I'm just like, girl, you stupid. So she talking about, look, I got to get some stuff off my chest because I haven't even been able to talk to you and tell you the things that are on my mind. And so he was like, what? What do you even mean? You always say what's on your mind. So she was like, well, in all honesty, I haven't been able to do that because when it comes to you, I can't. So she starts to unload on him, talking about, you invade my privacy. You don't respect me. He was like, what? And I mean, I'm really having the same reaction as him. Like, girl, are we watching the same show? Are we watching the same thing unfold in front of our eyes? What are you talking about? Where is he disrespecting you at? Like, if anything, my thing is he is showing you how much he is into you. Like, he's showing you, I am giving you this attention. I really, really like what you got going on here. I'm trying to let you know that I'm interested in you. A lot of people lose interest very, very quickly and don't set it off the way he was setting it off. Now, you could have told him, can you rein it in a little bit because I'm not used to this? And then, like, once I get used to it, then maybe you can kind of rev it back up. But you just over here mad because the man over here cooking dinner for ya and calling ya, wanting to go out on dates, wanting to see you, not only wanting to bust it wide open, didn't tell you bring it back, but you're mad. Why? Why? What is the reason to be mad about that for? Girl, I can't. So she really sat up here and was like, you don't respect my boundaries. And the problem with that is that you have, because he was like, I don't understand. Why don't you just give me my credit? So she was like, that's the problem. You're always getting your credit when you don't deserve it because you're not doing the work to receive the real credit. What you're doing is using your white privilege. That's what you've been doing. You've been skating by because you're fine, and that's just what it's been for you. So whatever you do, it's all right. And I'm just like, girl. So she really sat up here and was like, you reenacted the Atlantic slave trade in my bedroom. I'm like, ma'am, I ain't gonna lie. I really do. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like I am oblivious to certain terms and certain things that have been said throughout the years, even long before I was born. The only thing that I would give her credit for is, like, I understand her saying that she kind of felt a little triggered when he called her gal when she was tied up to the bed and all this other stuff. And, you know, he thought that this might have been like a, you know, morning sex role play moment. And I'm like, girl, he done said gal long before that. Like, I'm really not gathering any type of feeling from him, any type of vibe from him, as if this is a rape fantasy, this is a slave fantasy, like all these other people be out here doing. Like, some of y'all favorite heifers out here that y'all live for musically be out here on that, but y'all be living for them. I ain't even gonna go into the foolishness, but I don't support it. Don't support them because they really do be out here on that times a million. But y'all support their music. Y'all buy it. Y'all go to their concerts. Set it off for these raggedy folks. Set it off for them. And they are trash. They are black when it is convenient for them. But they really are on some foolishness. Like, that one minute they act like they're down for the cause, and the next minute, oh no, my white side. It's my white side though. Y'all remember I got white in me though. Like, no. Y'all know I can pass for both. Don't do it. We ain't even finna get into that. I'm not even finna get into it because if you know, you know, I'm not finna get into it. Y'all have at that. I am not here for it. But that is definitely not what he is giving off. And I'm just not here for that. But like I said, I understand the gal thing just a little bit. I understand that because if you're not from the South, if you haven't experienced racism, like blatant racism, then you are not going to understand how triggering it is to hear somebody say, boy, gal, call you the hard N word with the ER on it and all of that. You're not going to understand. Or, I mean, there have been times that I have just been existing and you can see the racist people in the distance doing what they do. They literally will look at you and you already know what time it is. Like, oh, it's time to go. What time is it? Is the sun going down? Oh no, let me get in the car and go home because I ain't got time. I might be strung up on a tree, hanging from a tree. By the time the sun set, if I don't get up, it's that bad. Some people are that bad. Now I digress. I'm just saying. But 99% of what this heifer talking about, this is all stupidity. There are people wishing, hoping, and praying for a man like him. But you over here talking about, oh, you did all of this to me. You did all of these things to me. You don't communicate. You don't do any of the things I need you to do. I feel unsafe in my home. Yes, I understand that his raggedy brothers, who are really racist, came up to your job and did the absolute most. They have been threatening all of that. This man got beat down because he wants you. He got beat down by his own raggedy blood related family members because he wants to be with you. Girl, what is we talking about? So anyway, he was just like, I don't understand, because we should have been having communication. There should have been some communication going on, because why are you holding this in until now? Like, ma'am, I don't understand. Like, you've waited until this moment to do this. And so he was just like, you know what? Just don't even call me ever again. Just don't communicate with me ever again. So she was just like, okay, so this is what you're going to do. I tell you how I feel. And what you get out of it, your response to me telling you everything that I'm feeling is that, oh, well, you just want to be able to just go out here and screw this person and screw that person and then do whatever you want to do. And then I just got to basically play my role and just get in where I fit in. Oh, okay. And he ain't here for it. And so she was just, that's why she started talking about, oh, okay, so that's what you heard. I'm telling you, I'm pouring out my heart to you. I'm telling you how I feel, and this is what you say to me. Girl, I can't. She really told us, oh, so you try to make it seem like my feelings are BS. Girl, I cannot. Danny apparently does not want to be happy. She does not want to be in an actual, real relationship that's meaningful. She does not want to be with a man that is going to do right by her. She apparently wants to be with trash. She wants to be cheated on. She wants to find out that these people are no good. She wants to be used. Now, no, I don't agree with him staying with the cousin that ain't really the cousin and then just not finding out that this is somebody who ain't blood related. Like, I mean, that's small details, but at the same time, like, look, you know the type of person you're dealing with when you're dealing with Danny. He knows that you got to show me for me to understand and believe what you're talking about type of person. And I get that. So the fact that he negated to say anything about that, I understand that. But like I said, 99% of what this heifer just said within this whole exchange, girl, bye, buenas noches. Anyway, let's move right along. I spent way too much time on that. That just irks my soul. I cannot stand that. I can't stand that. Okay. So anyway, so Fatima walked into work as if nothing happened. So, she's no longer the receptionist. She is passing by the receptionist's desk and she sees all of these roses. We find out that the roses are for Andy and like they have been being delivered all day. We already know who it's from. It's from one of two people, but more than likely it's from somebody in particular. And who is that? Gary. Boy, please go somewhere and sit down. So Andy came in right after her and was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So Fatima was like, well, I've been trying to figure out who they're from. And so she, finds out that they are from Gary. And so she's like, girl, whatever. So they start having a little girl talk. They're talking. And she was just like, look, donate all these to children's hospitals. Like, don't nobody have time. That's what I'm talking about. When she said, I say, yes, ma'am. That's what I'm talking about. I would have been right on top of that. But anyway, they started having a little girl talk. And while they're talking, like I was scared of, I was scared that something like this was going to happen because I was like, man, why do you have this on? There must be a little bit of blood splatter on her sleeve or something on her white dress. And I don't know if it's from when he hit her or from when she hit him, but there's a little blood splatter. And at this point, when we get to the end of the video, I feel like there might be a connection, and I'm just like, please don't let it be, but I feel like that's what it's going to be. We're going to get there. Anyway, so they're talking, having a little girl talk, and so she was like, look, I tried to invite you out to the club, but Karen wasn't having it, so she was like, girl. Fatima was trying to figure out, had she been brought up in conversation and had anything else been brought up in conversation. And y'all know this heifer has not told her own friends that she's pregnant, but Fatima knows. And so lucky for Karen, Fatima is like, wait a minute, this heifer ain't even said nothing to her friends. Let me be quiet. So she was like, oh, okay, I'm just trying to see what's going on. Um, but like I said, they were already doing girl talk, and so she was like, "I was out with Robin." Fatima was like, "Did you beat the son?" And she was like, "Girl, no." I was like, "Ma'am, y'all so ignorant." So they were talking, and so she was like, "Look, just don't go too fast." And so she looking at her like, "Girl, what are you talking about? Because you seem to be going a little fast yourself with Zach, but okay. But I see it all on you, girl. I see it." So she was like, "Well, speaking of Zach, how is he doing?" And she was like, "He's doing good. He's doing real good." So, um, they end up showing Karen's shop. Karen is arriving to work. I kind of like the pumps. I kind of like the heels that Pam had on. I kind of like them. It's just something I can never wear because I just can't. I just can't. It just I don't feel like I ever would be able to wear nothing like that. The highest I've ever been able to wear is like maybe a 5-inch heel. Um, and I barely was able to walk in those. So yeah, but yeah. So she's there. So she was like, you have somebody who's been waiting on you for a while. And so she was like, "Oh, okay." So she was like, "No, no, no, call her over here." So she looking at her like, "Girl, why?" She was like, "I mean, so I can have your back." And so she was like, "Girl, what are you talking about?" Anyway, she asked the heifer what she need, what she want, how can she help her, or whatever. Come to find out, this is like I guess, an undercover detective or somebody. You could tell this person is with some sort of law enforcement, inquiring about Zach, wanted to know if they still live together, when was the last time she saw him, and all this other stuff. And once she realized what was going on, she was like, "I don't understand why you're here. No, we don't live together. I don't know when the last time was. It was when I saw him. Bye. I have nothing to say to you." So then this heifer off rip to myself, "Oh, I'm about to go over to the house." So she was like, first she tried to call. Pam snatched the phone from the heifer, was like, "They might try to trace the call. Don't you call them. Don't you call him." And so she was like, "You know what? You're right. Let me go over to the house." And so she was like, "Look, I know how to maneuver. You ain't got to worry about me getting caught as far as that is concerned." Because Pam was like, "They might follow you to his house." Child, I'm just like, you stay hopping in the car to go look up at Zach's face. I mean, I'm kind of grateful that she doing it for this, but woo, child, it's doing a lot. So anyway, Maurice is at work. He's in an office doing an audit. He in his feelings. You can tell he in his feelings, and it's a lot. So, Sabrina tried to talk to him. He ain't trying to talk to her. Like, he's been triggered, like, ever since she brought up his father, and you could tell that his relationship with his father has been terrible, has been non-existent and terrible. And it was just a lot that happened within that whole situation from the beginning to the end of that man's life. So it was a lot. So she's trying to be a friend and trying to talk to him, but he don't want to talk to her right now. So she has been in communication, constant communication with Calvin, and he ended up showing up. So before he got there, Maurice got a collect call from Q. Orange is not Quincy's color. That is not his color at all. I was like, "Ooh, child. Ooh, child." So he over here talking about, "Okay, so I talked to the DA. I might be able to get a plea deal and get out of here real soon. Would you be able to allow me to stay with you? Because I ain't gonna have no place to go." He looking at this phone like, "What? He was like, "Get off my phone. Get off my phone." No, I don't know who you think I am. He got off the phone, was like, "These hoes done lost their mind. These hoes think I'm crazy." Maurice is tired, and I don't blame him, because these people really think he got boo-boo food written on his face. He really tried it. So anyway, Calvin went on in there and was trying to talk to him. He already could smell the setup as soon as he saw him come through the door, and was like, "Why the hell I called you and told you to come up here?" So he was like, "I know you're going through it. Sabrina loves you. That's your friend. Whatever, whatever." He ain't trying to hear. So he was like, "Look, I have a friend that's coming in town. I have gay friends. I have a friend that's coming in town. I think y'all will like each other, whatever, whatever." So he was able to persuade him to go out on a date with this person. So he was like, "Well, can he come by and swing by and get me from there? Or we going to have some sort of a situation there?" So he was like, "Sure, that's what we'll do." He had already set up an appointment with Sabrina so that they can go out on a date So after that conversation ended, he was like, on second thought, what we can do is like, can we just, be at the house to see how it's going, and then we go out. She wanted to go to the wine room. He already know what kind of time she on. And so she was like, oh, I love that place. And so that's where they gonna go later on. But I already told y'all I don't like them together, but who am I? So anyway, El Fuego came to the airport because he about to go fly down to Miami as usual, because that's where the money reside apparently. And so he trying to figure out if they can go out on a date and all this other stuff. And so she's like, you're a stripper. Like, what are you even talking about? He was like, I've been trying since college to talk to you. And what does that have to do with anything? And she was just like, I can't do that. Like, what if I was a stripper? And he was like, you were a stripper last night. And she was just like, no. She acting like she ain't here for it. El Fuego done got tired of his spirit. Like, really? This is not what I signed up for. This ain't cool. Like, he switched all the way up on her. So, I mean, El Fuego seemed very, very sweet. But when he didn't get that answer he wanted to hear, it was a wrap. So, there was a random person who rolled up while the conversation was happening and sat down in the area where Danny works. So when El Fuego left, he rolled up talking about, oh, he sure told you. And I was like, why are you here? So anyway, this fool had the audacity to try to holler at Daddy. As soon as I saw him, as soon as I could smell the foolishness coming off of his lips, I was like, boy, if you get somewhere and sit down. He looks like, to me, it was very Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion to me. Like, you short, she's super tall, you small, she thick, thick. I don't know. I was just like, I don't see it. It just didn't look right. It didn't look like it was gonna work. Oh, rip. He didn't look right anyway. She was just like, sir, I don't know what you're talking about, but we don't even know if you're really flying with us and all of that. But yeah, I ain't got time for it. So he actually presented his boarding pass and all that other stuff. He done checked in. He ain't even supposed to be over at that gate. So she was like, yeah, you can go over there. Your gate is not even over here. And he was like, oh, I know. I saw you. And you were looking all good, and I wanted to come and try to talk to you, whatever. So she was like, nah, I'm good. So she ended up walking off and finding one of the old security dudes. And she told him, I think we got a pimp up in here, and you need to get on that. We have gone over protocol for this. Like, this is a situation that's happening. So in my mind, I'm like, this heifer really wanting to leave like that? Like, is she really trying to set him up to get thrown out? Possibly be arrested because she don't want him to talk to her? Or is she really, like, as we've gotten into what's happening on the next episode, it might actually be one of them situations for real. And because it's like she plays so much that I can't tell if she being mean, if she playing. Like, I couldn't tell. But from the preview for next time, it looked like it might really be a sex trafficking situation, and a whole lot of sex trafficking show be going on in Georgia, along with a whole lot of other gory stuff. We ain't gonna get in there. I done told y'all about this stuff before. I'm not trying to drive through Georgia. I tell y'all, I do not try to drive through Georgia after certain times. If it's dark outside, I try not to be out there. I try not to be driving through. And if I am, I'm gonna have to have a reliable vehicle. I don't trust it. I ain't trying to be broke down nowhere. I'm really not trying to get gas if I ain't got to. Unless it's an area that I have frequented a lot and I know that I am okay. No, I can't do it. So yeah. So Karen then made it over to Zach's house, and he was outside and he was talking to one of the people who is performing the construction work and all that, because he has to do a lot of the renovations himself. So, and that's good in a sense because he has the money to do so, and you can get things to be the way that you want it to be. So she done rolled up, and so he trying to figure out why she popped up. In his mind, instantly, he's thinking, oh, you are already finna be one of those typical baby mamas that do the most and want to pop up on you. But that wasn't what it was. She told him what was going on, and so he over here acting suspicious, so it's making her question what you got going on illegally. And ultimately, he was like, look, next time you see her, if she pop up on you again, just give her my number. So she was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, just give her my number. So she was like, okay. So then, she was like, oh, so you not gonna go and invite me inside so I can see what the house looking like? He was like, I mean, they got all kinds of glass and dust and they putting plaster and all kinds of stuff up. Like, I don't want nothing that's gonna do harm to you or whatever. And so she's getting in her feelings and was like, you lying, whatever. I'm like, child, why are you trying to go on the inside of the house? Wait until the renovations are over with and get the DNA test so we can see if it's his or not, and then we can go from there. Then we can see what the baby proofing and stuff gonna look like. You could go in the house then. Girl, if you don't sit down somewhere, because if you are pregnant, it's probably Aaron's. The one time you busted open for him. Anyway, because I'm sick and tired. Y'all know I can't stand her. So she leaving, right? So he trying to figure out where her truck at. And she was like, well, I was trying to protect you, so I parked down the block. In an effort to make sure that she's not being followed. So he tired of his spirit. And this is too much going on. He done called Fatima. Fatima's not available at the moment because she's talking to Andy. Her phone probably in her purse and on silent right now because she at work. She might have threw it in her office on the way to take the flowers into Andy's office. Child, Calvin and Sabrina are going out. Tell me why. Maurice exited the office where he was doing the audit and rolled up and politely read both of them and really read him and was like, why are you in here? Especially after the stunt you pulled. He read him. Why? Why did he ask him? Why did he ask him, why is he in here again after he twirled around the way that Wendy Williams did when she blacked out? He literally said these things without saying it. He said the reference because of what she had on that day. I was like, oh my gosh, not y'all giving the Wendy Williams reference. Y'all done went off. Y'all, Gary had the audacity to pop up, requesting to see her. Fatima answered her phone for her. Didn't tell her that that's who was on the phone. Was like, I'm gonna go handle this. I'll be back. Like, hold that thought. I'll be right back. I'm gonna be right back. Went out there, told him that she in a meeting. Ain't nobody got time. The receptionist tried to tell him the same thing. He wasn't really trying to hear it. So he was like, well, I'll just wait right here till she done. Talking about she in these meetings. I don't believe that, but I'll wait here right there all day. She said, well, you'll be waiting here till tomorrow. I was like, ma'am, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. So anyway, Fatima was tired of her spirit and said a whole lot of things. And I was just like, y'all are going to learn that Fatima is a G. Fatima said, do you want me to beat you down in front of these white folks and then make it so you catch the case after I'm the one who has beaten you down? I was like, ma'am, don't nobody have time. And she was like, to make it even more plain, do you see those stairs right there? Do you see them? This heifer was talking about throwing her own self down the stairs and blaming it on him so that he really can be all the way up out of Andy's life. I was like, ma'am, this heifer done went off, but it got him to leave. I was like, yeah, because he really tried it. Like, he really tried to bypass her. And she was like, you're not finna go back there. And so somebody was like, oh, do you want me to call security? She was like, no, I got it. And this is when all of this went down. I'm like, yeah, Fatima is a gangster and I'm here for it. Child, we at the end of the episode. Fatima was finally told that Robin was the boss. And, even though she's not supposed to know, so she is shook. She's like, oh, so he got money. Like, whoa, he really has money. Okay, then. So anyway, they in the middle of talking, and then I'm looking in the background. I'm like, wait. We see people running. We see all these partners running. Then the receptionist come in and was like, so Hayden's in the parking garage dead. Y'all don't understand. Okay, wait a minute. Y'all don't understand. Y'all do not understand the joy. Y'all do not understand the joy that came over me. Y'all do not understand. I am so tired because, okay, y'all, I know I'm at the 30-minute mark. I'm sorry, I got to get this out. He irks my soul. I done told y'all. He started off so good. When he first came on the series, I was like, oh, okay, that's a nice looking man. Look at you. Black excellence. And then we find out he is a fool. Fatima tried to tell you in the nicest way possible, I don't like you like that. I'm good where I'm at. Then she had to rev it up and tell you, sir, the sex is trash. You're trash. You're corny. You're not up to my standards. Leave me alone. I want nothing to do with you. Yes, I am with this person. If I want to be with him, if I want to screw him or anybody else, I can do what I want to do because you don't own me and you are not my man. Woo! Anybody else, that would have been a major blow to their ego and they would have went somewhere and sat down. But no, Hayden said, I'm going to get her any way I can. So he decided that he was on a mission to take down Zachary. Well, he didn't listen. And this last instance, it was the final straw for her. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. And Fatima was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. And that's when he got beat down. How many times have I told y'all that Hayden is one of them people that you gotta maim or kill for them to learn? Like I'm so serious, y'all. In real life, there are people who they have to die. These people have to die to learn their lesson. It's sad, but it's true. Hayden is one of those. Hating Hayden is dead. Hayden's dead. Y'all don't understand. I was just like, I know I'm wrong. I know it's a TV show, but he irked my soul so bad. I was just like, please stop. What is wrong with you? Like, I can't. They beat that fool till he died. I just cannot. I know I'm wrong. Anyway, y'all, subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Thumbs up this video. And let's talk about this foolish dad in the comments.